if you can see how wet my hair is, but it's really wet. I was in like a stone's throw from the building and it just started pouring with rain. Like standing under a shower, I was drenched. It was horrible. I also realised that yesterday I completely forgot to say anything about my hair. It didn't really make much of a difference. It feels a little bit softer, I think, but it doesn't look any different. Not really much difference. Apart from the smell, actually. It smells gorgeous. I just checked and they're $6.50 each, so I don't know whether I would do it again, but you know, hair reacts differently. All people's hair are different, so what doesn't work for my hair might work for yours. Bit of a shame that it didn't really do anything for mine though, apart from make it smell nice. The most delicious of all pizzas. It would be slightly better if it had mushroom on, but that's not a normal combination, you have to ask for that. I'm gonna eat this while watching other people's Vlogmases. I think my favourite Vlogmas this year is Jess's, my sister's, obviously, because I like seeing, you know, her life as it happens, because it's just nice. And also Rosianna, she is so good, and her Vlogmases have been really, like, introspective and interesting, and she's, you know, been thinking deep thoughts, and it's just great. They always make me think. They're always really great. I'll link her channel in the description, and Jess's, like, if you haven't heard of them or want to check them out. I would recommend it. Look at these beautiful cards! Oh my gosh, so this is like the second batch, basically, because the others are all addressed and ready to leave. Oh my gosh. Basically, I'm a creative genius, and I've used up all of my Christmas supplies. Almost all of the Christmas supplies. Let's see if I can talk about this at the same time as I wash my face. Who knows? I've never tried that before, but I can't film this in the bedroom because we have no light in there, and Aiden's talking on his headset in the other room. And tonight's conflict is about my hair. I always think about my hair a lot. My hair is a large part of my identity. I am now the sister with the longest hair, which means a lot to me. But like, why? Because I really like my hair, but also I really dislike my hair. It's very flat and straight, which annoys me. I wish it had a little more volume. And I've been thinking fairly lately about hair and gender presentation for me. You know, having long hair is very feminine. It is possibly, you know, the most feminine. More than wearing a dress now. I've been, you know, toying vaguely with the idea of cutting all of my hair off. Possibly even shaving my head, because you could donate this hair. I mean, it's a lot of hair. This would make, you know, 2 wigs maybe with this hair. But like, I don't look very good with short hair. Like, the last time I cut my hair really, really short was in year 11, so I was 16. And it was not a good look. I cut it completely out of GCSE stress, which was unpleasant. Even after it had been tidied up by a hairdresser, it really didn't look that great. I just don't think I have the face shape for short hair. I like the way I look more with long hair, mostly. I definitely need a little bit of a cut because it's becoming long to the point of being unmanageable now. But one of the people I follow on Tumblr mentioned a while ago that for guys, short hair is the norm, and they never really worry, and no one else really worries about whether their face shape suits short hair or not because it's so normal. I also like the idea of like pushing myself in that way. Like, the idea of losing my hair scares me a lot. Like, the idea of shaving it all off, God, that would look so strange. Because I care so much, like, what feels like an unnecessary amount about my hair, and I feel like it would be, you know, in one way very freeing to just remove it completely. Oh, I'm gonna use up the last of the magical moringa. Tell you what, this is a really good moisturiser, but also, like, the full tub of it costs £30. And I really don't know if I can justify that. I don't know, I have a lot of conflicting feelings about hair. And what this decision really comes down to is vanity versus gender expression. Which is almost, you know, is the gender expression even going to be a thing? Because I'm still never going to wear masculine clothing. Because, frankly, I just think most of it is really dull and boring and kind of ugly. So I'm still always going to be read as a woman. I feel like I would be less attached to my hair if it wasn't ginger. Like, ginger is quite a unique colour. There aren't many of us. So I feel like it's more special. If I had, you know, blonde or brown or black hair, I would be much more comfortable with the idea of doing interesting things with it and, you know, maybe dyeing it and cutting it into interesting shapes and stuff. But because it's ginger, which is beautiful, I was never really teased for my ginger hair. I was teased for a lot of other things, which kind of took precedence, I guess, over the hair. but I never really felt like I was singled out or teased or bullied for my hair. I think ginger boys get a lot more, you know, stick for their hair than ginger girls. Whenever me and my sisters would go into the hairdresser to get our hair cut when we were little, you know, the hairdressers would always coo over our beautiful red hair. So, you know, I'm very vain about it. And I can't stand the idea of dyeing it because, you know, it would just look strange. I'd be really interested in hearing your opinions regarding hair and presentation of gender and masculinity and femininity and all of that sort of stuff. But if you have any opinions regarding my hair and like in the sense of, you know, please don't cut your hair, you look so much prettier with long hair, please just don't on this occasion, because that's one of the things that also I don't really like, is like the sense of other people being entitled to like pieces of my body like that, if that makes sense. This is definitely more of like a feminist issue and an objectification issue in the terms of, you know, people feeling like there's a sort of public ownership of women's body parts. What's the carol of the day? Carol of the day is the Christmas song. I think that's what it's called, you know, chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Love that song. Any version, they're all great. So this turned into a little more of a serious video than I anticipated. Whoops. Hopefully tomorrow will be cheerier. I'm going home tomorrow, like home to Yeovil, to my parents' house. They won't be there, they're leaving before we get there, but, you know, you'll meet Midget, which is exciting. Let's hope she hasn't gotten taller than me since the last time I saw her. The nickname is becoming ironic, and I hate that.